Hi everyone, James Paddock here, and I believe that anyone can make a Doom map. Doom's creative scene is still flourishing today, with new maps, mods, and art being released every single day. The ease with which one can create new content using the original Doom assets has played no small part in how prolific the community still is today. I'm sure most people who had a copy of Doom at least heard about the modding tools for it. Since the early 90s, people have been creating their own custom content for the game, and modern programs streamline the process a huge amount, taking out a lot of frustrating busy work, and allowing you to just make stuff. It's no secret that John Romero recently got himself a copy of Doom Builder to create Doom's 5th episode, Sigil, which came out in 2019, 25 years after the original game. Personally, I find Doom mapping and modding very hard to let go of. There's just an innate satisfaction in creating something out of nothing using this extremely basic and easy to grasp engine. Heck, you only have to watch people making Doom maps, and yes, people frequently live stream their Doom mapping to realize how quickly something of remarkable complexity can be put together. I mean, half of Doom mapping is just drawing 2D shapes. That's it. Not to say that I agree with the assertion that Doom is a 2D game, made by certain misinformed individuals. It is more complex than that, although not by much, at least from an editing standpoint. So what can you do to get started? Well, the tools you need are readily available for free download, and there are a ton of tutorials online already, so the technical side of things is very easy to grasp. This video will be more dedicated to the actual creative side of your first mapping venture, but I'll quickly cover some basics. If you're a Windows user, get Ultimate Doom Builder, Doom Builder X, or Slade. If you're a Mac user, get Eureka or Slade, or run one of the Doom builders in a virtual machine. Go through the installation procedures, make sure configuration files are set up correctly, and rebind any hotkeys that you might want to. We'll be making a Doom 2 vanilla map for simplicity's sake. This video really will cover the basic fundamentals. So, once you've got the program up and running and you've created a new map, you're going to be met with a blank canvas, a daunting sight for virtually any new starter. Your first port of call is probably going to be the most important one, creating the first room. Generally, you want to avoid drawing squares or giant squiggly messes that do nothing to inspire. An irregular polygon of just about any sort will do just fine. Let's draw that out now. I generally create the starting room first, as that to me informs the rest of the creation of the map, and essentially guides my creativity throughout it in the same way it guides the player through the map. You should probably start with whichever room in your map has the clearest appearance in your head though. My room here is going to have some areas branching off to the sides, just a couple though, nothing too complex. I think I want all of the action to take place in this one central room, like this map is going to be so simple it might just be a map 1 in a larger set. As I'm developing the layout, I'm keeping in mind areas where I want key components like doors, switches, lifts, liquid hurt floors, or elevated pedestals for items like keycards. Once the 2D layout is blocked out, let's go into 3D mode and apply all the relevant heights. We're basically splitting this room in two, with a lower section and a higher section separated by what will eventually be a pit of slime. I'm adding some stairs to allow the player to escape the pit, and that's about it. Texturing a bare layout is probably my favourite step of the process, and it starts with you getting rid of the default texture and picking something different. In my case, something other than this tan space wall texture, which makes for a really bad default choice in my opinion. So let's immediately get rid of that with the flood fill tool and choose something without strict vertical contours that makes more sense for any length of wall and can be easily auto-aligned. Stone is one of my favourites to use here. Let's make this an outdoor sector with the F-Sky 1 flat for the ceiling and go with Nukage 1 for the slime pit. It's fairly important, even in this early phase, to highlight stairs with unique textures, put your switches down, and place some lights here and there so you know where light sources will be. Once you're happy with the basic texture scheme and the placement of those fundamental elements, you can go and change up the textures in certain areas to whatever your preference may be. Next, we'll start applying functionality. We first need to put the player start object down, or we don't have a playable or testable map. Next, you'll want to place crucial items like keys and anything that you know you're going to have in the map. As for doors, Doom Builder has a very handy tool for beginners, the Make Door From Selection function, which even I still use to this day to get immediate results. For switch activated objects, find the action that you want in this list and make sure you pick an S1 or SR action, meaning it's switch activated. I've picked a fast lift that lowers, weights, then raises. Give the switch and the door or platform it will affect the same number tag, then you should see a visual cue that these two are related by tag and will operate in-game. We'll make this switch lower the adjacent walls to spring a trap on the player, as well as making the key pillar lower, and make a monster closet on the bottom floor open up when the key is grabbed. Damaging floors are simple sector-based effects that can be selected from this window. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to put in an exit special. Once we're done with these things, we just need to playtest the bare level to make sure that it's fully functioning and exitable. Ultimately, monster placement is a pretty subjective art that is entirely down to the mapper. I'll have a couple of zombies to begin with a quartet of pinky demons hiding in this monster closet, a gang of zombies behind the lowering walls in this ambush, and a Hell Knight in the exit room. Once I've settled on a palette of monsters I'm happy to call interesting and varied enough, I'll start placing weapons and ammo. I feel it easier to get monster placement down first, and then balance player items around that. Once weapons, ammo, armor, and health are placed, you should have a playable map. You can then tell your editor to launch a modern source port like GZ Doom, or an old school one like Chocolate Doom. And there you have it, you now have a map that you didn't have mere minutes ago. That concludes my look at the basics of Doom mapping. I'd encourage you, the viewer, to try this exercise out for yourself if you're new to the craft. Creating this entire map took me just over half an hour. I really am not exaggerating when I say it is that simple. I feel confident in saying that the Doom engine is the perfect way to break into the art of level design and get to grips with the fundamentals. Its main principles of editing are easy enough for literally anyone to grasp. I hope I provided an educational look into mapping for Doom. See what you can cook up in 30 minutes to an hour using the steps and techniques I've outlined in this video. If you want to join a Doom community project, there are always dozens running at any one time on doomworld.com. If you want to join a Discord server, my Joy of Mapping server is always publicly open to anyone who wants to learn, and there's a link to it in the video description below. That's all for now. See you next time. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like my work and want to throw me some support, please consider visiting my website jamespaddockmusic.com or joining my Patreon. Patreon backers get an early look at videos like this one, plus access to my private Discord, discounts on commission rates, and sneak peeks at exclusive content. That's everything for now. Cheers!